to another edition of the Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. Why do you laugh when I get the countdown in my ear? We get the one. He starts laughing.
Well, I have this inner monologue, and sometimes there's just funny stuff going on in there.
See, we need to do a podcast.
Heckle and Jekyll, you know.
We came up with a new segment for the podcast that we can't do on TV.
Blank that.
I'm Norm Wamer. This is Big John Malkoski. This is Mortgage Marty Bihn. We're going to talk a ton of NFL in segment 2 and segment 3. I want to start this off with the NBA and China.
China?
No, China.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not China.
I've heard it called that.
Yeah, well, yes, we all have.
Yes.
But an official for the Houston Rockets tweeted about solidarity with Hong Kong, and the Chinese government got a little testy about that, which I didn't know they hung out on Twitter following somebody from the Houston Rockets.
Well, and I think that's what made it worse, is that because of Yao Ming, the Rockets have China had kind of adopted the Rockets. So to be a Rockets front office guy, that was probably made it worse. I mean, I don't know if the Sacramento Kings president says something, if anybody cares.
So Adam Silver then came out and said that it was an unfortunate tweet or something like that, and then the next day kind of retooled his response.
So here's I struggle with the whole thing. So the NBA, which is supposed to support probably more, there's no shield mentality there. Somebody there has an opinion, God forbid, on a political issue that affects millions of people that a lot of well-educated people would say China's probably in the wrong on, but because lots of money comes from mainland China and less money comes from Hong Kong, what do you always say? You just follow the money and the money will always win? So
follow the trail of money.
So apparently the NBA isn't necessarily so free speech and whatever else. It's more about where the Benjamins come from.
Well, because apparently the Adam Silver and the NBA were a little conflicted. They kind of had like 4 billion reasons to be conflicted.
I know, because and the NBA is the most popular sport in China because 1 million people watch it. I mean, what's the second most? Go? Isn't that the game that you play on the big board? Or I mean, I don't even know what are there professional leagues in China that I don't know about?
Well, I know they have a basketball league.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they have the Chinese basketball, because I think Stephon Marbury went over there and he's probably still playing.
Well, it tells you how much we know about it, because I don't know either.
Exactly.
I bet he sells a ton of shoes there, too.
He does.
There's probably 2 Stephen Barrys still open in China.
The funny thing is their shoes are made in the U.S.
I think a large part of it has to do with their NBA's trying to get fans in China because there's so many people. They're all trying to televise games in China, and they're guys up top. They're there to make money.
Well, and it just so happens that they had games over there this week. They had a big press tour. They had games scheduled. The Lakers
canceled
were over there.
Some things and rejuggled. And
I mean, it doesn't bother the WWE to have wrestling cards in Saudi Arabia.
They're going to get millions.
All their female wrestlers can't wrestle because they're not allowed.
Or other the male wrestlers, some of them, because of their backgrounds, aren't allowed to.
I think this just smacks of money. Sorry, but
you're a business guy. I mean, I can see the other side of it for the NBA. That's a lot of money. Okay,
but in this particular case, is any part of what he said verifiably wrong, or was it personal?
No, of course not.
So what we're going to get down to now is if we decide that it's unpopular to talk about supporting one presidential candidate versus another. I mean, this is a slippery slope they've picked here, because if you support Democrats, could you alienate Republicans or vice versa? Yes. So now if the NBA official tweets that he thinks Donald Trump's a bad candidate or Joe Biden's a bad candidate, that's better than foreign countries doing it, I suppose, but that's a whole separate conversation.
Well, look at all the garbage that Ellen DeGeneres got for sitting in the box next to George W. Bush.
Absolutely.
Somebody asked me what I thought about that. I'm like, what is there to think about it? They sat together and watched a game.
I hope they had a friendly discussion on issues they don't agree on and could talk about it like adults, and at the end of the game, shake their hand and walk out. I mean, we don't agree on a lot of things, and I like you.
Or maybe they just watched the game.
Yeah. Well, but what's wrong with getting to know someone who has a different opinion than you?
Nothing.
Well, in this, you were talking about the Democrats, Republicans, all that. Go back to Michael Jordan. I mean, what did he say? Well, Republicans buy shoes too. He wasn't going to go out on the limb for anybody.
No, he was non-political.
Yeah.
He was totally
But that's a personal choice. But if somebody else wants to get involved, okay, so you're going to alienate some people. Oh, well, there's consequences.
But LeBron is much more political than Michael Jordan.
Correct. And, and there are people that don't like it. Hey, get over it, in my opinion. He's allowed to do what he wants. And, he's not doing things to inflame it. He's not saying ridiculous things. I mean, his opinions to me are well-founded from his perspective. You don't have to agree with them, but I don't think he's out there trying to create a stir. I think he's just, I think the way he handled the agent situation was perfect.
Well, and how many NBA players actually understand what's going on in Hong Kong, between Hong Kong and China?
I think more than we want to give.
Really?
Yeah. Care or understand?
Understand.
I think there are a lot of athletes that are a lot smarter than we think, because I think most of them are higher IQ guys.
The good ones generally are.
I think the ones that are successful, both in the game and not all of them. There's the Ron Artest and whatever, but even I think he just has issues, but I don't think he's an uninformed guy. I think a lot of them, and the interesting thing to me is when you bring this up, it causes them to go look at what's actually going on, I think. Because I think the wonderful thing is, I heard discussion about this in the office and thought, well, that's pretty cool. Because at least we're talking about what's actually going on there instead of some little snippet that no one cares about.
Right.
Because I thought that was part of what we were as a country, was defending democracies.
No, ask the Kurdish people this week.
It's actually not funny.
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm saying it makes me, I was telling you guys before the show, it really irks me what we're doing to people that have been our allies for years. It's unacceptable.
Doing the old radio show back in the 60s when I was doing it, we'd always get these callers that would get all upset if there was politics in sports. But my argument always was, you can't separate it. You can't. It's interwoven. You can't do it.
No, there are tons of aspects of both parts of it that are in our everyday lives as society. Just is. Tell me Jackie Robinson wasn't political.
What's the definition of politics? It's a struggle for power. And if you don't use yours, somebody else will use it for you. Let's take a time out. We'll come back. All NFL.
We didn't do the Antonio Brown
We
bit.
can do the Antonio Brown thing, and then we can
You tease that. I didn't check
it. Baker Mayfield, too. So.
I know how to do that. You throw it out of bounds or get sacked.
Time out. We'll be back for our Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
Win with Ralphie's starting lineup. Get 10 of the biggest and best wings for only $5.65 starting at $9. Try our double cheeseburger with fresh hand-cut fries for just $7.99. Score a 5-count domestic iced bucket for $11 every day. And get 25 wings for $18.75.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
What can you expect from working with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation? Our branch manager, Marty Bihn, can help you navigate through the loan process with the service and speed you deserve. Contact Marty today to get pre-qualified. Make your home buying dreams a reality. Call 419-481-8696 to speak with Marty Bihn today.
Are you hungry? Of course you are. Want pizza? Yeah, you do. And there's no better place to go for hot, fresh pizza than Mike's Pizza and More. From pizza and wings to subs and salads, Mike's has everything you need to provide the family dinner tonight. Whether it's carry-out or delivery, our family-owned business has been happily serving the Holland area for years. And with our new location, we now proudly serve the Oregon area. Should you call Mike's Pizza and More right now? Yeah, you should.
Our Bob Wrestling returns to Toledo coming up on Sunday, October the 27th. It's October Obsession, St. Clements Hall, 2990 Tremainsville Road. The new champion, Sexy Sean Casey, will defend his title in a triple threat match. Also, the tag team titles decided in a lumberjack match. Get your discount advance tickets right now at pbwexcitement.com. It's Sunday, October 27th. For the best wrestlers in the Midwest, it's Powerbomb Wrestling. And back we are, Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. And you know what? The best thing about Ralphie's is that, and John can attest to this, Marty, he doesn't have fun, is going there and feeling like the home team. All the servers are very conscientious. And
I thought you meant there were
making
other
sure that
Raider
you
fans
get,
there, and I was trying to figure out which location that
you
was,
get
so I never
refills on
go.
drinks, and you get your food, and you get all that, but you feel like it's the home team. Who doesn't want to go somewhere where everybody knows your name?
Wow, he went cheer.
It's my favorite. I haven't taught him to do that yet. But I got to work on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go there, you're gonna have him say Norm when you walk in.
I like the One Cheers episode where they turned over the bar because Sam lost it because he sunk his ship, and they had all different clientele. And Norm walked in, and just one person went Norm. He's like, "That's it, I'm leaving." All right, let's get at the NFL. Antonio Brown, since we teased this, he was on as we taped this. He was on Instagram trying to persuade his 3.7 million followers to get a hold of the New England Patriots and tell them that he wants to play there.
So I believe the real issue with Antonio Brown is that your Raider, sort of, Vontaze Burfict, ever since he hit him in the head, he's not been right. So he's actually got CTE or whatever. It's not. None of this is Antonio's fault. That's my new theory.
It is possible.
Because no one whose brain is not altered acts this erratically. So apparently,
I always no joke on this one. I always wondered about OJ. Seriously,
yeah,
I always wondered if that was somewhat
part of it.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Well, we won't know. Probably we'll never know. I don't think he's going to be able to go back to New England.
I'm sticking. What was my prediction? Under 5. He won't play 5 games.
Played 1.
I'm still willing to take any amount of money that the under 5 is safe in 2019.
Didn't his agent say that there were a bunch of teams that were interested in him?
Yes.
He did.
Yeah, what happened to that?
Well, he said he had talked to a bunch of teams about him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he had.
It could mean he called them and said, "Hey, I've got Antonio Brown." They said, "No, thanks." And okay, well, I talked to that team about him.
All right, do we want to take Baker Mayfield out of the Hall of Fame?
See, I can't do that because I never put Baker Mayfield in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but others did.
No, I think they meant Patrick Mahomes, not Baker Mayfield. You know, they were all Big 12 quarterbacks, but not the same.
Is this the sophomore jinx?
No.
What is it?
So to me, there are multiple things going on. I still think the coaching staff there isn't cohesive yet, and I think that has really affected them, especially in big situations. And I mean that not necessarily just from a game plan, but I watched what happened when Callaway's tipped pass ends up getting deflected and intercepted on the goal line, how almost I wouldn't say quit this time like they did against the Titans earlier in the year, but the team was a very different team after that turnover. And when you have leadership throughout your organization that one play like that can affect it so profoundly, it's going to be tough to win big games. And I have some concerns. You know, I pick on them all the time, but I have concerns because that's cultural. And until you get that changed, it's really, really difficult to go forward.
Well, we had talked about him never being a head coach anywhere, never even being a coordinator.
Never even being a coordinator hired at least. I mean, he was a coordinator half of last year.
Because I think that's the biggest issue. You can give guys draw up plays and all that. It's handling the personnel.
And they seem to fold the tent. I mean, it was interesting because not long after that game seemed to end. And I'm not trying to rewrite history, but if Callaway catches that touchdown and falls in the end zone, I think that game plays out very differently.
Oh, probably. Because it happened to him earlier in the season.
But that's not supposed to happen.
Week 1, I believe.
That's not supposed to happen with good NFL teams. That happens to college teams. It happens all the time to high school teams where, the air goes out and they just can't get it back.
Well, who hadn't coached a team that had kids that had lost a lot, and when you get something go wrong, they expect it be the first of the avalanche.
I was for many dark years at St. Francis, trust me. I know exactly what that looked like.
Yeah.
And it just made you sad because the minute something would go bad, it was in their mind, it was always, here we go again.
But the other thing they need to do is they got to stop the run. They have not done a good job of that at all, and until they are able to stop the run, they're not going to go anywhere.
They were getting gashed. And the whole trying to get, Beckham the ball here and forcing the ball. I mean, you got to take what's open, and if that's 25 times to Jarvis Landry. You throw it there 25 times.
Well, yeah, I mean, Mayfield's only completing 56% of his passes. And it's even worse when he goes to Beckham. And
that doesn't count the interceptions, right? Because I think if you add in the interceptions, only like,
then he's like
68%. Yeah.
The biggest surprise of Week 5 had to be the Indianapolis win at Kansas City on Sunday night. What do you make of that?
So go back to Week 1. If Adam Vinatieri doesn't completely stink Week 1, Indy's alone in first place.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody expected that defense to be able to do.
Did you watch the Quentin Nelson highlight reel of him absolutely beasting on defenders? It was absolutely fascinating. If you haven't seen it, watch. There's a YouTube video of him absolutely owning people that entire game, and it's a clinic of how to play great offensive line play. I mean, it's just textbook and vicious, like clean, but just I wouldn't want to be a guy.
But KC's another team that can't stop the run,
right?
And they're not going to go anywhere either if they don't learn to stop the run.
Well, and them not having Tyreek Hill to take, or someone to take the top off, has allowed teams to, get a little more press and get an extra guy in the box, and it's affected. I mean, Travis Kelce's numbers are way down because that seam in the middle is not wide open because you don't have the deep free having to account for that speed guy, and the windows are a little tighter, and it's not quite the same game.
Did you happen to catch that Green Bay game last week?
Nope, didn't see a single snap. Nope, not even one. By the way, I want to thank you for the hilarious, Jerry had the contract and Dak said whatever. That's one of the funniest things I've seen. It made me sad, but it made me laugh at the same time. So it's just funny because in 2 weeks you go from Jason Garrett and Dak both getting contract extensions to, let's just wait a little longer and see.
Well, I think Dak's down to the point where you just got to wait and franchise him.
I don't know.
I mean, franchising him, you were in the mid-20s instead of the mid-30s for salary.
The only good news is they were behind so long that even though he stunk it up for the day, I had him in fantasy, and he still threw for 400 yards because they were so far behind, all they could do was fling it around the lot. So I had he and Cooper, so it ended up being a good week for me. That's salvaging something out of nothing.
So now Oakland has to go 1-10 to get to your prediction of them being 4-12.
Talk about a favorable schedule.
Oh, yeah,
Beating the
flying to
Bears?
London.
Beating the Bears? All week, all I heard was...
The Bears are without also future Hall of Famer Mitch Trubisky. So, I mean, it's... you take a Hall of Fame quarterback off a team.
All week I kept hearing, this is the revenge of Khalil Mack. All week long. Revenge of Khalil Mack.
You know how many sacks he got?
0.
I know.
You know how many sacks the Bears got in that game? 0.
I think the Raiders had, 6? I don't know, a lot.
Actually, if the playoffs were right now, Oakland would be in the playoffs. They'd be the last seed, 6th seed. Of course, Detroit would also be in the playoffs, too.
Just saying.
All I'm saying is 1-10 to get to your prediction. All right, well, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Well, his team's coach got fired, so don't feel too bad about Dallas. When we come back, we'll get to our picks here for week number 6 and tell you how we all did last week for our Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
Win with Ralphie's starting lineup. Get 10 of the biggest and best wings for only $5.65 starting at $9. Try our double cheeseburger with fresh hand-cut fries for just $7.99. Score a 5-count domestic iced bucket for $11 every day. Now get your Ralphie's delivered to you with DoorDash.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
What can you expect from working with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation? Our branch manager, Marty Bihn, can help you navigate through the loan process with the service and speed you deserve. Contact Marty today to get pre-qualified. Make your home buying dreams a reality. Call 419-481-8696 to speak with Marty Bihn today.
Red Wing Shoes, a quality built to last, just like the legacy of service at your Red Wing Shoes dealer, North Reynolds at Bancroft in Toledo. Family owned and operated since 1982. 4 generations, building a legacy of quality and service for years to come. Our sales staff has over 95 years selling and servicing Red Wing shoe products, and we have the largest selection of Red Wing shoes in Northwest Ohio. Irish Setter, Works, and our USA-made heritage shoes. In stock, no waiting. Red Wing Shoes, North Reynolds at Bancroft, where service, quality, and fit come first.
Power Bomb Wrestling returns to Toledo coming up on Sunday, October the 27th. It's October Obsession, St. Clements Hall, 2990 Tremainsville Road. The new champion, Sexy Sean Casey, will defend his title in a triple threat match. Also, the tag team titles decided in a lumberjack match. Get your discount advance tickets right now at pbwexcitement.com. It's Sunday, October 27th. For the best wrestlers in the Midwest, it's Power Bomb Wrestling. And back we are for our Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. I'm Norm Wamer, Big John Malkoski, Marty Bihn. Big thanks to Mike's Pizza and More for coming on, and it was all delicious.
It was very good. Ate way too much after I got home last week.
Took it home last week. So Matt, thank you very much. Red Wing Shoes, also a sponsor. Mike Seeger there on Reynolds Road near Bancroft. Stop in and say you heard it here. He's big on that. Okay. All right, let's get at it. Last week, 5-9. It's like getting your test score back. 7-7, 9-5.
So you're alone in first place now.
And I gave everybody that Oakland pick. See, the Wamer double jinx worked again. All I have to do is pick against them and they'll win.
Continue on.
So that puts me 31-27, and you're both tied at 27-31.
Wow.
So this is almost like the Redskins-Dolphins game this weekend. Where,
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
The tank for two Bowl.
The buys this week: Chicago, Buffalo, Indianapolis, and Oakland. And the Thursday night game was the Giants at New England. It was stunning, the big upset. We're taping before that. All right, let's get at it. Sunday. There's a 9:30 a.m. game on the NFL Network.
Woohoo!
Carolina and Tampa Bay.
In London.
And Carolina's favored by 2.
The interesting thing is the fact that it's on at 9:30 may actually increase the viewership, because if that was on at the regular time, no one would watch it.
Tampa Bay's got the number 1 passing offense in the NFL.
Yeah, give me Tampa Bay and the points. I can't believe Carolina's favored.
They don't have crab legs in England, though.
We do have to scoot along.
Tampa Bay.
All right. I'm taking Carolina and giving the 2. Since you can shake your head, look at the standings. Scoreboard.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Scoreboard.
All right, continue.
The 1 o'clock CBS game, Cincinnati at Baltimore, and Baltimore an 11.5 point favorite.
Not enough, Baltimore.
Baltimore.
That was the only one I didn't put down here. No, I'm with you guys. Baltimore too. I can't take Cincinnati. Thought about it though. It's a lot of points. Seattle at Cleveland is the Fox game at 1 o'clock. Don't look at CBS. Look at Fox if you're a Cleveland fan. Seattle is a 1.5 point favorite in Cleveland.
Seattle.
I'll take Cleveland. Seattle coming east.
I will take Seattle as well. I don't think they're going to get straightened out yet. New Orleans at Jacksonville. Now, I was surprised. Jacksonville's a 1 point favorite in this game.
Yeah, that doesn't seem.
Sounds like a trap game to me.
New Orleans.
Yeah, give me New Orleans. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we're all taking New Orleans. Houston at Kansas City. Kansas City a 4.5 point favorite.
I'll take Houston the points.
Man, I'll go Kansas City. I think they figured get things going.
Yeah, I'm going Kansas City as well. I think that's artificially low because of how they did against Indianapolis. And I don't know if Houston can stop them. They also can't keep their quarterback upright.
I would take the over in that game, no matter what it is, by the way. Just so we're clear, the over.
Washington at Miami in the number 1 pick bowl.
Nobody.
Washington, who's 0-5,
Yes.
somehow is a 3.5 point favorite on the road.
With an interim head coach.
Yes.
And probably going to start Haskins.
A guy that shouldn't be starting from what everybody's.
I'm going to take Washington and give the points because I think Miami wants to lose more.
I'm going to take Miami and the points at home.
Yeah, I'm going to take Miami and the points too. In a game like that, I just got to take the points. Philadelphia at Minnesota. The Vikings are 3 point favorites.
Philly.
Yeah, and the points.
Did you know that the running back for Green Bay scored more points and scored more touchdowns than all of Miami's offense so far this year? Stat.
I'll take Minnesota.
Okay.
The Sunday 4 o'clock Fox game. Now, I don't know why we get this one. Dallas at the New York Jets.
Because America wants to see Dallas win a game for the first time in a month. Dallas a 7-point pick. Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, that's not enough. Cowboys.
All right, we're all on Dallas. The game that we should see is San Francisco at the LA Rams. Those undefeated 49ers that are just horrible. That somebody said last week, I believe.
The Rams right the ship.
Rams are a 3-point favorite.
I'll take San Francisco. They're playing really well.
See, I got the Rams. John's looking at my stuff. Atlanta, here's like the second pick bowl almost. Atlanta at Arizona. Atlanta at 2.5-point favorites.
Arizona. That Atlanta team's
Atlanta.
terrible.
They're both. I mean, this is again. This is who wants it less.
If it was 3.5, I'd probably take Arizona. I'll take Atlanta. Tennessee at Denver. Denver's a 2-point favorite at home.
Wow, talk about games with matchups that no one wants to see.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
I'll take Denver.
Yep, I'll take Denver as well. Sunday night game, Pittsburgh at the LA Chargers. The Chargers 6.5-point favorites.
Chargers.
And that game right here on NBC 24 Sunday.
They're on what, the 8th string quarterback in Pittsburgh right now?
Some undrafted guy from like
if Phillip Rivers can't beat whoever, I gotta go with somebody I know, since I can't name you who's going to sling it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing too. I'm on the Chargers as well. The Monday night game on ESPN, Detroit at Green Bay. The Packers a 4-point favorite at home.
Look, Detroit, like 1 year ago or 2 years ago, beat Green Bay for the first time in 100 years. It's not happening again this soon.
when they did not have a very good season.
I understand. I'm saying it doesn't happen.
You know Matthew Statfiller's numbers when he's playing above 500 teams on the road? It's pretty ugly.
Well, have you seen him at Green Bay? It goes from ugly to Baker Mayfield-like.
Oh, your phone's going to light up on that one.
I think he's ranked 32nd right now in passer rating.
Your phone's going to light up on that one.
Have at it.
See, I wanted them to take Barkley and Chubb, actually. So
there you are.
The defensive guy.
Yeah.
Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah.
Nick Chubb, yes.
And then
Saquon.
Then take Mason Rudolph later, which is what I would have done. But boy, he got a terrible hit.
Oh. And then the cart didn't work. And then to walk him off.
Oh my God. All right, we got to get out of here. Thanks, Marty. John. Saturday Night Live coming your way next. Powerbomb Wrestling. You can see some stuff on YouTube, Facebook. And we'll see you next week for our Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's.